Today, we're diving into the incredible story of Devi Ahilyabai Holkar, a leader who's often called India's philosopher queen. She was this amazing ruler of deep faith and unshakable justice, who actually earned the title Lokmata, the mother of the people. So let's explore how she created a legacy that honestly is still inspiring people centuries later.
So our journey really starts with this big question. How on earth did a young girl from a simple village rise up to command one of the most powerful kingdoms of her time?
And then, at a moment of just unimaginable personal loss, she's faced with a choice that would define her entire life. Now, the custom back then, Sati, expected a widow to join her husband on his funeral pyre. So, why did she defy this deeply rooted tradition and choose instead to dedicate her life to serving her people?
And finally, we're going to look at the massive legacy she left behind. What was it that drove her to rebuild and restore sacred sites, not just in her own kingdom, but literally from the Himalayas all the way down to the southern tip of India?
Okay, so to answer all these questions, we have to go right back to the start. In a small, unassuming village, a future queen was being raised with some pretty extraordinary values.
So she was born back in 1725, and her path was different from the very beginning. Her father, who was a village headman, made sure she was educated, which was a huge deal for a girl at that time. This upbringing gave her this deep sense of piety and duty. And then, at just 8 years old, her life took a massive turn when she was married into the powerful Holkar dynasty.
And you know, it all came down to a single chance encounter. Maharani Holkar, the ruler of the Malwa kingdom, was just passing through her village when he saw young Ahilyabai serving the poor at a temple. He was just so struck by her character, her humility, and her sharp mind that he knew right then and there she was the perfect match for his son, Khandarao.
But her new life in the royal court? Well, it was destined for a period of incredible hardship. A series of devastating losses would test her in ways you can barely even imagine. The tragedies came one after another so quickly. In 1754, her husband, Khandarao, was killed in battle. Just 12 years later, her mentor and father-in-law, Malharao, passed away. And then, the very next year, her only son, Malarao, also died. She had lost the three most important men in her life. It's just devastating.
After her husband's death, a heartbroken Ahilyabai prepared to commit Sati, but her father-in-law, Malharao, he stepped in. He pleaded with her, saying, "Daughter, you are my son now. Who will take care of the kingdom?" And those words, they changed everything. She chose duty over despair.
So after enduring all that loss, Ahilyabai took the reins of power. But this wasn't just about ruling. It was about mothering an entire kingdom, which is exactly how she earned that title, Lokmata.
For 28 years, she provided something truly remarkable, a stable, just, and prosperous government. You have to remember, this was an era of constant conflict, so her reign was like a beacon of peace and development.
And her administration was so progressive for her time. I mean, she held open court every day, so justice was accessible to absolutely everyone. She passed laws to protect widows' inheritance rights, and get this, in a move that was pretty much unheard of for the 18th century, she created a dedicated women's army to defend her borders. Her focus on economic growth and peacefully bringing tribal communities into society, turning raiders into farmers, it just shows this truly complete vision she had for her kingdom.
So beyond her skill as a ruler, Ahilyabai's most visible legacy is literally etched in stone all across the Indian subcontinent. Her reign was this period of incredible religious and charitable construction.
And this right here perfectly shows her whole philosophy of rule. Every official order she ever issued was sealed not with her own name, but with the phrase, "By order of Lord Shankar." She didn't see herself as a queen, but as a humble servant of a divine will. Her kingdom was a sacred trust.
And her vision was truly pan-Indian. She didn't just build things in her own kingdom of Malwa. Now, her project stretched from the holy sites up in the Himalayas all the way down to Rameswaram in the south, uniting the cultural and spiritual landscape of the whole country.
She rebuilt some of India's most revered sites, like the Kashi Vishwanath and Somnath temples. But her work went way beyond just temples. She built ghats, wells, and rest houses for pilgrims, and even set up free food centers, making sure that faith was always supported by real compassion and public infrastructure.
So what makes her legacy so immortal? Why is she still so revered, even today?
Well, the answer really lies in a special title that was given to her by the people themselves. She became known as Punyashlok. Now, this isn't just a title, it's a really profound spiritual honor. It means a person whose fame is so pure and holy that just speaking their name is considered a blessing in itself. So when she passed away in 1795, after nearly 3 decades of rule, the entire kingdom mourned. They didn't just lose their queen, they felt like they had lost their own mother. That's just how deep the connection was that she had forged with her people through her service and her compassion.
And so, the story of Devi Ahilyabai Holkar leaves us with this powerful question, one that applies to any leader in any era. What is the true meaning of faith and duty? Her life seems to suggest it's found not in power or personal comfort, but in selfless service to a higher purpose and to the people you lead.